You cannot engage with music without somehow engaging your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own psyche.
The last record you said you wanted to make a long song. That was a thing that you wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you sing about Sgt. Pepper in a way that long song. I don't know. Could you say? I read that you went writing and along the way it became longer and longer, or because for me that was hard to imagine. But maybe you can tell how. Or did you have like sort of different songs or ideas that you blended into some songs because there's some transitions?
No, see that what the latter example you just given there would be what I would have usually have done. Usually I write a set of songs, or the band comes up with a set of songs, and then we figure out the best way to put them, to sequence them, to make that kind of sense of musical continuum. This was why this was so different, because I decided from the beginning that I wanted to write a 50-minute piece of music, and I began writing at the beginning, and I kept writing in sequence. So the sequence you hear the music is the sequence it was written in.
Because I didn't have the chance to listen to it 10 times, so to say, but could you say that certain themes reoccur in a letter, maybe in a different...
Yes, different chord sequences come back, themes come back, motifs come back.
Because how would you say, if you had like a sort of drawing the curve or the tension of the composition, what were you aiming for? Was it like
well, that's a very intangible thing to put. I mean, music is quite slippery in that respect. In that you can't expect to have a plan and for everything to go according to plan.
But maybe in retrospective, if you now listen to the piece?
In retrospect, what I would say is it works. And I don't know why it works, because I've attempted these kind of things before in the past, long-scale pieces. But this time it seemed to work.
But do you think that through what you've gone through, that now you were just now maybe ready to do such a thing?
I think experience and confidence have got something to do with it, yeah. And luck, sometimes things come together, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you don't know why.
Maybe it's hard to say about your own creation, but when listening, or can you point a moment in that the whole composition out that maybe what moment gives you the most goosebumps or the most powerful?
Right now?
Yeah, if you...
I can't listen to it at all anymore.
No, okay, so you haven't heard it for a while.
I'm sick of it. I've heard it for almost the best part of a year. I've been hearing these songs. I can't know. I mean, at the time when I was writing it, there were lots of moments of, like excitement and breakthrough and that's always the pattern though. When you're writing, you have that freshness that the people who will one day hear the music will bring to it. 3 months later, you're sick of hearing it and you can't be objective anymore.
But will you perform it live the way it is?
Yes, yeah. Certainly for the first tour, we'll do the first half of the show will be the first disc, The Incident, performed as a whole. Yeah.
And how? Yeah, you created it. How did the band feel into it? They also were open for this concept, or did you have to discuss? I think they were.
I think we all, coming out of Fear of a Blank Planet, which is our previous album, which in many respects was our least commercial, on the surface was our least commercial record ever. We made no attempt to write anything that could be played on the radio on that record or anything. And it became our most successful album.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lesson to be learned from that. It almost seems like the more willfully uncommercial we are, the more people seem to like it and the more people seem to relate to what we do. So I think there was a sense of kind of further up, further in with this record. Let's do something even more ridiculously over the top. So when I said to the guys, hey, I've been working on this long album-length piece of music, rather than them being perhaps paranoid that we might be, doing something very uncommercial, they were all like, yeah, great, let's do it.
Do you maybe foresee a certain interpretation of it that you wouldn't foresee, maybe?
I hope so. For me, one of the great things about music, and I think this is where it really wins out over even things like movies and books, is that music is the art form that still demands something from the listener as well as the person that creates it. You cannot engage with music without somehow engaging your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own psyche. It's not like a movie where everything's up on the screen, you can be a vegetable, or a book where everything, what every character is thinking is explained to you in words. Music's not like that. It's definitely open to interpretation, and I kind of thrive off the fact that people interpret the stuff in completely different ways, sometimes bizarre ways that had never occurred to me. But I think that's the beauty of music, really. It's definitely a two-way thing between the person who creates it and the person who experiences it.
Okay, and maybe last question. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have made now this record, which already is like full of diversity. You have several other projects and a solo project just behind you. Are there still maybe areas that you feel that aren't covered yet creatively by you? Do you?
Yes, yeah. There's still certain kinds of music I would like to explore. Yeah, you're going to ask me what, aren't you? Guess what kind of
No,
music?
I wasn't. No, I will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Because I'm not going to tell you anyway. So no, there's a couple of projects ideas I've still got in mind. Yeah.
Can you maybe name them where you picked them up? The ideas for this?
Well, let's just say that when I was a kid, I was a huge fan of a band called Can, a German band called Can, and
It's a krautrock band, huh? I think
it's a krautrock band. Yeah, and they have an amazing drummer who plays the most amazing rhythms that just go on and on, round and round and round, without getting boring for any minute, for a single moment. And I've always wanted to do something a little bit more minimalistic in that style. I've kind of played with it a little bit, but I've got ideas for various projects as well. But you know, the thing about projects very often is it's not what you do, it's who you do it with.
Okay, and who are you doing it alone or probably with?
There's still people that I would love to work with, and you know.
But should we look at that area, the krautrock? Maybe people from that.
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. There's other things I want to do with other people, and the music that comes out will be kind of a combination of the two people, or three, or four, of how many people together. And I don't know what it will be like either.
So it's not yet physically,
no.
or.
But what I'm saying is there are people that I know that I want to work with, and there's at least some of them are people I know want to work with me, and it's just a matter of finding the time to do it. And we don't know what will come out of the projects either, but something different again, I suspect.
We'll look out for that.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, my pleasure.